Hey everyone, welcome to the top 10 list. Welcome to another horror-related or Halloween-related video. Yes, this is my top 10 favorite final guys in horror films. Yes, last year I did final girls, now it's time for the guys. This is a rarity in horror films because usually it's final girls. Usually the sole survivor or one of the many sole survivors in a horror film are always girls. Guys, it doesn't always happen for them. Occasionally it happens, but mostly they get the brutal deaths, they get the gory deaths, or in most horror films, they're the serial killer or something. But in this top 10 list, I'm going to talk about those rarities, those exceptions to the rules. These are the final guys. These are my favorite final guys in horror films. And yeah. So yeah, when it comes to this list, I know I'm not mentioning all the final guys, and these are just my personal favorites. These are my personal picks. I went over every final guy in every horror film. And I know some people are going to be like, oh, you left this person out, or you left this person out, you left that person out. I left them out on purpose. These are just, again, my personal favorites. So, let's get to it. Coming in number 10 is Doug from The Hills Have Eyes. The Hills Have Eyes, the original was the Wes Craven one. Then they remade it into these nasty, gory, violent horror films with these mutant creatures. And I don't like them. I didn't like the second one, and this is the first one. Didn't care for it that much either. The best part is the character Doug, played by Aaron Stanford. Easily the best thing about this movie. Because basically in this movie, this guy's entire, family or his girlfriend, and they all get, brutally killed by these mutant creatures, and they, rape his girlfriend or wife, and then they take his kid away, and he has to basically go fight through all these mutants to get his baby child back. And it's pretty awesome. It's pretty cool. The mutants look cool and everything, but it's just a very gory film. That's all it really is. There is no substance or even scares. Nothing about this movie is scary. It's just nasty. And even the acting by most people isn't very good. The writing isn't very strong. But it tried to be this really cool, violent horror film, and I can see why people will like this film. I just wasn't a fan of it, but I did like the character Doug. I thought he was a really cool character, and I really hated these monsters, and I just was sick of looking at them, to watching this character literally kill the ever-loving shit out of all these creatures was pretty entertaining to watch it. For a final guy, he's pretty awesome. Coming in number 9 is Dewey from the Scream films, played by David Arquette. This is most people know who Officer Dewey is, or Officer Doofy. No, I'm not going to talk about that. But Dewey is a likable character. He's not like Sidney Prescott. He's not like Gale Weathers. He's not like Randy. Those are my favorite characters in the Scream films. And Stu. Love Stu. But Dewey, he's a cop. He's kind of a bumbling idiot, but he's very likable. He's a very caring character. He's always there for Sydney when she needs help. And he is very brave. He goes right into the action, and he's willing to get stabbed. He almost dies in the first 2 films. You think he's dead at the end of the 2 of them, but he ends up living. Man, the guy's got 9 lives. Respect, buddy. He's a tough dude, and again, he has a lot of bravery in him, and you can't but like Dewey. He's nobody's favorite, but he's a very likable character, and you can't really have a Scream without a Dewey, so Dewey, number 9. Coming number 8 is Charley Brewster from Fright Night. Charley Brewster is a great character, and this entire story is focused on Charley Brewster and his relationship with Amy, and then he has to deal with his vampire neighbor, Jerry the Vampire, and needs help from this television host, Peter Vincent, to get rid of this vampire, or this vampire will literally turn him into a vampire like he did his friend Evil Ed and everything, and it's crazy. It's a really cool action horror comedy, and Charley Brewster is not the sole survivor, he's the main character, and he is the final guy, and he's a great character. He's this really dorky guy, but then really shines in the 3rd act and becomes a really cool, almost badass vampire hunter, man. He should be in an episode of Buffy. He's pretty cool. And yeah, I like the Anton Yelchin version too, but the original, it's an OG, so. Coming number 7 is Tommy Jarvis from Friday the 13th Part 4. I was going to go with Part 6. I like Corey Feldman. Corey Feldman's my man. So, Tommy Jarvis, again, I'm not a huge Friday the 13th fan. Everyone knows this. I I have a soft spot for part 6 because it's a silly movie. I have a soft spot for this one and the first one. I don't think any of them are great films, but I do have a soft spot for those films. And this one is pretty cool because the relationship between Jarvis and Jason Voorhees is really cool. And Corey Feldman's performance really stands out, and he's such a great character. I love he almost acts like Jason Voorhees. He like buzzes his head just like Jason. And he goes toe-to-toe, one-on-one with Jason Voorhees. And this is a little kid we're dealing with. And he still ends up living through all the chaos Jason puts him through this entire film. And it's pretty great. And as for child characters go, he's pretty amazing. But as for final guys go, he's one of the best. Coming number 6 is Alex from Final Destination, the first Final Destination. I have a soft spot for all these films, guilty pleasures. They're all pretty dumb films, but I love them all. Just love them all. They're just super fun films. First one is probably my favorite because I do enjoy most of the characters. I think they're really cool characters. And they all have their cliques, and they're all just really fun to watch and see the weird creative deaths they have to go through. Alex is a great character, though, played by Devon Sawa, I think his name is Devon Sawa. He did a lot of like weird horror films in the 90s and shit, like Idle Hand and shit. But he's really great in this movie, and I love him as the main character. He's very intelligent, and he's the one that has the vision on the airplane that they're all gonna die and the plane's gonna explode, and he saves a lot of his fellow classmates, but then they all start dying these weird ways, and he figures out Death's plan, and the order they were sitting on the plane is the order that they're going to die and everything. And he figures it all out, and he tries to outsmart and outwit Death, and it's really cool. And he's the one that figures it all out, he maps it all out, and I really wish he was in the second one instead of Ali Larter's character, because she wasn't all that interesting, but he was like the standout. But yeah, in the first film alone, he's a great guy, and a great final guy, and just cool character. Coming number 5 is Brent from The Loved Ones. This is a really unsettling Australian horror film. Almost unwatchable, really. It's really disgusting. It's about this kid, and basically he's just like, typical average guy, average high schooler, and then there's this girl who has a crush on him, and she asks him to prom, and he says no because he has a girlfriend and everything. So this girl kidnaps him, traps him in her house, ties him up, and basically brutally tortures him for the whole entire film. Her and her father, who you find out they're like cannibals and shit. Like, it gets really gross and weird and pretty frightening and stuff, and everything Brett has to go through. You feel a lot of sympathy for this guy, and you just really want him to get out. And it's spoilers because he's a final guy. He gets out, and he gets his revenge, and it's very satisfying to watch. So yeah, Brent, you're the man. Coming number 4 is Ed Warren from the Conjuring films, out of the Warrens. Ed and Lorraine, great characters. Lorraine's a girl, so she can't be on the list, but Ed's a great character. He's a priest, but he's also a skeptic. He doesn't always believe families when they tell him stories about, oh, we have demons, or we have ghosts, or something, there's a witch. He doesn't believe it. He always believes there is a logical deduction. There's always an explanation for everything, so he always tests everything out, and then he has to build his evidence and maybe call the Vatican and do an exorcism if he has to. And everything the Warrens go through in both these films is fascinating, and that's why I didn't love the new Conjuring film, Annabelle Comes Home. I didn't care. I don't care. I want a Conjuring 3 focusing just on the Warrens, because they are the soul of the franchise. And yeah, I love the Warrens, and Ed's one of them, so go Ed. Coming number 3 is an incredibly underrated character from an incredibly underrated film, and that's Will from The Invitation. The Invitation is some people say it's more of a thriller than a horror film, but I'm going to count it anyways as a horror film because the whole last 20 minutes is a straight horror film. The whole movie, yes, is more of a dramatic psychological thriller, but then the ending turns into a horror film, so it's a horror film. Basically, it's all these friends, they're all invited to this party from their other friends and everything, and basically they think it's just this dinner and this get-together, but then they realize that their 2 friends are trying to lure all of them into a cult, and it gets insane, absolutely crazy. And Will, right away, suspects that there's something crazy going on. I love this character because how logical and intelligent he is. Right away, he knows there's something weird that's going on. He's like, okay, wait, who's doing this? Who's doing that? Oh, why are you letting her go? Why are you doing this? And yeah, he always figures things out really quickly. He's very on the ball. He's on the move, and even when shit gets down, he's gonna fight to survive. And just that's why I love this character, Will. I think he's really great. Logan Marshall Green does a great job playing him. Just yeah, such a great film. Coming number 2 is Dr. Loomis from Halloween, the original Halloween. Dr. Loomis has a weird story because he's in Halloween 2 and dies in Halloween 2, then gets brought, then he's not dead, then he's in 4, 5, and 6, and then it gets weird. I'm just gonna go with the first Halloween, and only him and Laurie Strode live, well, and 2 kids, but mostly him and Laurie Strode, they live. And they're the final guy and final girl of Halloween, and I love Dr. Loomis. I think he's the best character in Halloween. Donald Pleasence does an amazing job playing him, and just his story with Michael Myers and just all the stuff he had to deal with Michael Myers is interesting, and he knows that Michael is going to do whatever it takes to kill Laurie Strode, and he knows, Dr. Loomis knows he has to just flat out kill him. As soon as he sees him at the ending, he just shoots him, lays into him, lays the clip into him, and it's awesome. And I really like Donald Pleasence. He really sets the tone for the film. It's just the way he talks about Michael Myers. It's super gripping, super atmospheric, and I love Loomis. Great character. And my number 1 favorite final guy in horror movies is the easiest answer ever. It's Ash from the Evil Dead movies. Who else would it be? It's fucking Ash. Zzz, groovy. It's Bruce Campbell. It's fucking Ash. The first Evil Dead was a cool low-budget horror film that I really do love. And he's the only one that survives after all of them turn into the undead, and he has to kill them all and shit. Evil Dead 2 was almost basically a remake of the first Evil Dead, and basically the same outcome happens, but it's just a lot more funny, a lot more creative. Army of Darkness is more of an action horror film, and once again, he's the sole survivor. Ash will always be the sole survivor, and I will always watch an Evil Dead movie of Ash with a chainsaw hand fucking up some zombies, or Evil Dead, undead, witches, whatever he's fighting. It's amazing, and it's Ash, and easily the best final guy ever. Ash. So that's my top 10 favorite final guys in horror films, in my opinion. So in the comment section below, please tell me what are your top 10 favorite final guys in horror films. Comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like this video, please subscribe to the channel and join the ducks.